One of the things that the devil tries to do on earth, and then to inspire men to do on earth, is to play with people who are very, very important and useful to them. Now, if the devil wants to destroy you, he also put men on your path. And if God also wants to lift you up, he will put men on your path. But one of the things the devil does is to inspire men to play with people who are genuinely interested in their well-being. That is, these people lack ability to discern that this person has my interest at heart. They lack ability to discern that this person is connecting me to the next level. So if the devil wants to keep us stagnated, he makes us ignore people that are very, very unique and are important to our destiny. Now, I want to open your eyes to something you need to understand. Life is a journey, and the journey of life will require that you connect with useful relationships. It will also require that you hold hands with people who are important to your destiny. Now, while everybody may not be important to you, there are certain people that God has placed on your path that are important. Now, in 2 Kings chapter 4, when you look at the story of the woman whose husband died, the husband was a prophet and died. That woman had an understanding that the prophet Elisha was a man that she could not do without. That means that relationship between she and that man was useful. So when she had that issue after the husband died, the Bible says she went to Elisha and said to Elisha, he said, my husband is dead. Of course, you know about it, but he left debt for us. And then the creditors have come to take that which belongs to us. And then Elisha, based on useful relationship with that woman, said, what do you have in your house? Now, I would like to paint a picture here for you. No one will help you until they discover or find out what you are contributing to their lives. There is no rich man anywhere, there is no big man anywhere who dashes money to people without them connecting to him, positively. So even if a cobbler is going to get something from you, that cobbler must be doing something useful to you. Now, if you walk into the bank and then you go to the bank to get money, and then after getting the money and then you dash somebody 1,000, 2,000, it is because that person is useful to you in a way. That's why you're giving that person that thing. Now, one of the things you must not joke with in the journey of life is that you must not joke with people you need to connect with, who are useful to you. Now, and then the second thing you need to do is that you must also ask God for discernment to be able to discern those people, because it's possible for you to have useful people around you, but you may not recognize them. Because sometimes the people are not in the packages we are trying to look out for. That the packages are in our minds. Now, the packages of these people who are meant to move us forward are also in their minds. They may not look like the people that can help us, but they are the people. Now, you must have proper discernment. The Shunammite woman, for example, discerned that Elisha was a person for our next level. And then the Bible says, that's in 2 Kings chapter 4, from verse 8 down, the Bible says, and she constrained him to eat meal. That means she persuaded him. She was able to discern. You cannot connect to useful relationship until you are able to discern these people. Now, they are not going to flaunt themselves before you and say, I am useful to you. You have to discern by yourself. You have to recognize that this person is useful to me and that this person has my interest at heart. That you are relating with someone doesn't mean that the person is useful to you. That you are also relating with another person doesn't mean that that person has your interest at heart. Most of the time, it's only when you are in problem you will know those who are actually important to you and those who are not important to you. I'm not saying that somebody cannot dash you money and somebody cannot just help you. But when I talk about useful relationships, I'm talking about people who are consistent with your life. People who are consistent with your destiny. People who are consistent with your journey on earth. These guys don't want you to be stuck. They don't want you to remain in a particular place. So they do everything they can to make sure that you move forward. Do everything you can to keep company with useful people. If you want to move forward and then you want to forge destiny here on earth, hold hands with somebody who is useful. Learn to relate with those people who are useful to you, because those are the people that will move you forward. In fact, even if you ask God for miracles and then you ask God for a favor, the favor is going to still come from the company of those who are useful to you, because God is not going to send favor to you from heaven. Now, when you pray to God and ask God for a miracle, you ask God for house rent, ask God for school fees, you need to also open your eye to discern those whom God has given the answers to that prayer in their hands. Because when you pray to God in heaven, God gives the answer in the name of a man on earth. Now, connecting with that man who is useful, who is an answer to your prayer, is very important. Now, when we miss these people, that is when we enter into what we call delays. So lots of people are delayed because they don't understand the useful people that they are meant to connect with that should move them forward. If you want to move forward and you want to go to the next level, do everything you can to connect with useful people. And then when you connect with these useful people, ensure that you don't play with them. Hold them with your hands, hold them, in your heart, honor them, and do everything you can to make sure that you don't lose them. One of the reasons why lots of people lack what they need is because they play with useful people that God sent to them. They play with people who are talented that God sent to them. They play with people who God has even spoken to them to be of help to them. And because they joke and play with these people, when the people must have departed from their lives, that is when they will discover that they are actually empty. So, if you want to move forward, do everything you can to make sure that you connect to useful people in your life. Now, when you connect to these people, delays will be broken. Now, you may not even need to do the prayer of delays, because the delays will not be anywhere. You will not find them anywhere. There's no way you will find delays around you when you keep connecting to useful people. If within your circle you have about 10 useful people, and those 10 useful people have something to offer around you or to give to you, how will you now be praying for God to give you certain things when those things are already in the hands of those people? What you just need to do is to recognize that the next level of my life is the hands of this person, and then you need to connect to that person. And then sometimes you need to humble yourself to ask. You also need to humble yourself to connect. Sometimes people say, how can I connect to this person? I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do. There are things you must learn how to do. The Bible also said, ask and you shall receive. Seek, you shall find. Knock and the door shall be opened. I want to end by saying this. There are doors you will need to knock. There are things you will need to ask. And there are things you need to search. If these things are useful and important to you, then you have to keep pride aside and then knock that door. Search for the people. Ask from the people. And then what you are looking for will be given to you. Take it from me that if you are looking for money, or you are stranded somewhere and then you want to go to another place and then you don't have that money to go to where you're planning to go to, and then there are people around you who are useful, who don't even know that what you needed was just like 1,000 naira, 1,500 naira, or maybe 2,000 naira to go to where you want to go to. And then the people had the resources, and then you refuse to ask, and all you're doing is praying. That prayer has already been answered in the name of a man. It's in the hands of somebody. What you need to do is not to pray, but to ask. You must know when to ask. You must know when to search. And then you must know when to knock. These things are important in our journey of destiny if we will eventually connect with those that God has sent to us, who are useful to us on the journey of life, because two are better than one. The Bible says that there is a reward for two, and then threefold cord cannot be easily broken. And then the Bible also says that woe to him that is alone. So when you are alone, you don't have help. When you are alone, you struggle. The difference between someone who is going by road to either Abuja and somebody who is going by flight is time, and then resources. and then maybe useful relationships. Maybe most of the people who went by flight didn't pay the flight by their own hands. Somebody must have done that for them. Maybe one or two people contributed to it. But you see, if you don't have anybody to connect to, and then those people, the people you are even connecting with are not useful to you, then the journey is going to be long. So ensure that you cut short the journey by connecting with people who are very, very useful to you and are very, very important to you. And then the journey of life will be short for you. God bless you.